right? No go. Um, Derek's a friend of mine, and he knows a lot about NFTs and stuff. So just wanted to have him hop on if you can. So Derek, if you can, let me know. If not, all good.
What I've been thinking about, NFTs in general, I'll just throw a topic out, no one else
Do it.
says anything, is I've just been thinking about the metaverse in general. Like, Twitter's been the space for now. I know I've seen like the penguins have some type of like little digital room. I don't really know exactly what it is. I've also seen like those little galleries people have been making where you can walk around in and just look at everyone's paintings or NFTs on the wall. I think that's pretty cool. It's just, who will be building out, the infrastructure for the metaverse, I think is a good question. I don't know if anyone else has seen any cool projects. I think Twitter is a cool space for it, but I think we can definitely do much better. I'm just curious, if anyone else has thought or seen anything. So just throwing that out there. We don't have to talk about it, but that's what's been on my mind at least.
Well, since I got Derek up here, I want to hear him talk about this stuff. I've got questions for you too, Derek, but like we can start with that one. I'm actually curious what you have to say. By the way, Derek's a friend of mine. He's into NFTs and stuff. He can speak for himself, but he told me the other day, and I'm just going to blow up your spot, Derek, that he was in 200 NFT communities on Discord. So correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, but take the stage, please.
Yeah, that's true. What's up, guys? Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, dude,
Um,
for sure.
because I was trying to allow my mic, I didn't catch the beginning of that question. I think I caught the general gist. Was it kind of like where are we going to hang out? Who's building the sort of infrastructure for the metaverse?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, and I definitely don't have the answer. I'm sort of, I mean, to give some context, I've been working in software for a long time, but I used to work in finance. So, crypto has been this like really good intersection of those two spaces. So it's always felt really native for me. Um, and I love art. And so I've been like digging through the NFT world for a long time now. And I'm kind of like a community guy. So I got really curious about Discords. And now I think I'm in every NFT Discord on earth. So, um, I mean, I could say like from what I can see, it's really Discord stages and Twitter Spaces right now for like, especially this informal stuff. Um, I think it'd be really interesting if someone started doing this stuff in a metaverse, right? So like, I've always thought that like Lazy Lions or whatever could be the sort of passcode to private rooms in the metaverse. I think that would be really cool. I think it's why we go to like cool bars and clubs and coffee shops. But I really haven't seen it beyond, these, I guess, larger scale, sort of notorious events that have happened here and there over the last, 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, give or take. But no, I don't have a good answer for that. I'd love to see this stuff transition into the metaverse and kind of get funkier, so to speak, because I don't think there's a really strong reason to be using Twitter Spaces, except for the fact that we have these built-in networks, which is probably something that Heaton could speak pretty well to. Just in terms of like the fact that we're all already connected, we have all these followers, so you get a lot of engagement right away.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for bouncing it back and passing the buck on. But I too have no clue. Like, I think this is. I was gonna say it's super early, but I guess it's kind of cliche to say that to all the people that are probably up here that are willing to get in some random chat about lions and NFTs and who knows how to even explain this stuff. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't even know. But
Uh,
at the end of the day, I think these networks. It's a really good way to think about it. It's like all these things are networks and the networks have made it easy for us to do things like this on top of the graph that they have, which is all of us running around, messaging each other, friending each other, etc. And this is the stuff that's taking off. It's like these places where you can go and have the network already built in, so you don't have to go build it up from scratch. Even in Discord, everyone's building it up from scratch. It doesn't work unless we have Twitter, right? And so I think that part is fascinating. I would love to do this on Clubhouse. I'm a huge Clubhouse fan, but the network is built in right here. I do have
Hmm.
one on Clubhouse. Maybe we'll try one of these on there. I don't know. Um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I think the networks make this stuff so timely and explosive. I think it's explosive is the word I would say that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that I think long term, hopefully, some middle ground happens. But the reality is the culture of NFTs does live on Twitter, and I think that's why Spaces go so far.
Yeah.
Is because we're all already here, and this is like kind of the unspoken Wild West, and it's one of the more open social media websites, and we already exist here. And I would love to see a transition, but I feel like it would be difficult
Well,
because we're so deeply rooted here.
and it's also let's remember like the metaverse is still very much so in its early infancy phases, even though like two in particular come to mind immediately, such as Decentraland and what is it? Pick what's the other one? Crypto voxels or something like that.
Voxels, yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
Sandbox is kind of coming.
and
Yeah,
Sandbox is on its way, but all three of those in particular, even Decentraland being the oldest, I think, of all three, like as they what did they ICO'd in 2016, I think, and now it's years later, and they finally have a Web3 functional product, but it's not native to mobile, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm on my
right,
phone, so
right,
it's incredibly difficult to and clunky to get into a metaverse as of right now. And not only that, there's not real benefit to getting to the metaverse. Like you're giving up simplicity and convenience to not gain in the metaverse yet. And I think from that's where it's going though, right? Like that's why popes exist. Like that's why if you go
right.
into the metaverse, you gain something. A pope usually is like your hook to getting into one of these things. And I think the lazy lion community in particular is going to take advantage of this type of like of drawing people into a metaverse, for example, because they're crypto native. They know what usually crypto native people are looking for, and there is communities that are building in the metaverse right now, but it's not the default choice because it's not convenient, and you can only you have to like draw in, and you're not going to be explosive in as Hinton mentioned there by doing something in the metaverse. Like you're not your goal in going into the metaverse isn't going to be like how do we capture non-crypto natives. It's only going to be how do we just get more crypto people interested in our project. And I think there's a caveat there to like the goals, right? Like between the two. So I don't know. That's my food for thought. But I don't know if you guys have ever explored in the Decentraland or crypto voxels, but I've done a lot more in crypto or Decentraland, and it's freaking awesome. It's how far they've come. It's incredible. There's like professional builders now out there that have made it so like I don't know if you ever tried to build, but if you don't know JavaScript, you're not going to get very far. And but the people that do know what they're doing, the lands and parcels in Decentraland are insane. And there are other PFP projects putting together things that like you, as I think we already talked about, that like are areas for people to go and hang out and enjoy. And there's even there, I think some of them even have like a casino because it's like part of their brand and like stuff like that, where you're able to even bet and gamble in ETH or any type of crypto that you may hold. So it's like there's even a gamification factor within the metaverse itself, which is incredibly cool. But again, convenience is the thing, and the explosive side of the social graph that we give up. So I think the metaverse it's got a ways to go to get that convenience factor, and then the social graph is a whole different aspect. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Well, what I've noticed is like with everything new, you always have a phase of kind of acquisition because there's just so many more people that are not in it or know about it than there are that do. And that's like an acquisition phase in something like this. And then there's like a whole phase of engagement when you actually are like, oh, people are churning or whatever, we need to give them more. And then you start going deeper and deeper and can actually worry about that. So I think we're we're early in the acquisition. Like it's amazing that I can send someone their first NFT. I'm like just personally blown away by that right now. It just feels so just nice. who knows where it goes, but like this stuff's not going away. It's pretty clear.
Mhm.
What it turns into, we don't know. So I feel pretty happy about that. And
Is
I
that
don't really think about the metaverse stuff in this way of like I need to go engage. It's more like I want to understand. So that was really useful. Thanks.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's great that you can send an NFT as long as the person you're sending to, the recipient, understands what a wallet is, and they don't send you the incorrect wallet, and then it goes to the some
I,
random.
you know, and I love that. Thanks for mentioning that. I think the way I kind of attack that, and I've been testing it, and I wish I could test it more. I just don't have the time right now. But like, I I just tell them to get a Coinbase wallet, and the couple people I've done this to, they haven't failed at it. Gave me the right code. I wasn't worried about it, and I sent them something. Um, so anyway, that's kind of again, it wasn't like my grandmother or my aunt or something like that. It was just friends that are kind of in tech too, that probably are more likely to get it, but it was their first. And I just gave them the Coinbase wallet because I think the MetaMask is cool. I started with it just like everyone else, but I'm more bullish on kind of Coinbase honestly, and the wallet there and the trust and the brand because if we're going to get new people on, they have to kind of trust it, and that's one of the fastest ways to trust it is just knowing a brand that you at least know or have heard of versus one you've never heard of that has some weird name and a fox and all that stuff.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that's awesome that they've passed. I haven't tried that yet. Has anyone else tried something like this where they've asked someone that's not into crypto to that you want to send them? I've tried to send people NFTs and they've told me no, which I think is funny because it's not like they didn't want to even get in this. Like that wasn't a big enough hook for them to try and do this. Which I thought was interesting. I don't. So, has anyone else had an experience like this where I'm like, I will send you something that has value. You again, we can define what value is to each person, but clearly they didn't define it as enough value to go through and onboard into Coinbase or MetaMask, whichever route they chose. Or, but has anyone else got experiences like this? Because I think it's a pretty interesting topic around onboarding non-crypto natives and that potential struggle.
Yeah, I had a buddy that I was going to give a lion just because I thought it was cool. I was like, dude, it's worth like it was like $700 at the time, back when lions were worth 700 US dollars. Um, and I was like, all you have to do is, go create a MetaMask account, blah, 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 get your wallet, send me it, I'll send you it, bro. He never made it past MetaMask. And this is a dude who like lines are cool and all, but he could have used it financially, right? If he just went and sold it, like this guy's it's not financially well off. And he still was so intimidated by the process that he didn't even bother, which is interesting, but it shows why, I mean, I think that's a big reason why so little people are here, is it is an adventure to get into NFTs. And especially if you're not a technical person, like the reality is a lot of us here are in tech. And if you're not in tech, this stuff is intimidating, man. It really is. But yeah, I had that experience.
Don't get me started on the exchanges. Like, I love them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I can do things I just never imagined I could do so easily, moving things around, trading, whatever. But wow, like the usability of this stuff, like I barely like, and the consistency. You go to one, you go to the other, you go to the other. It's all different. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, I can complain about this stuff. I build software for a living. I think all my software sucks too, but I give a shit, and I want to make these experiences really good. And I can't believe how much friction there still is, which is all opportunity, just opportunity to make it easier and easier. Like it should be like an email and a couple flows, and then I get a wallet or whatever, a address, whatever. Why is it that? Why is it more complicated? I really don't understand. I haven't dug in though. I'm working on other things that I'm very excited about for work. So this is not my problem solved. But man, I wish this stuff was more usable. I would be wanting to get so many more people into it and tell them how wonderful these JPEGs are or whatever.
I think a
Yeah,
large part. Yeah, sorry, I'll just quickly talk and then you can jump in. It was Ark. I
no,
was
you're
just
good.
gonna
No,
say, yeah, I think a large part besides the technical, setting up a wallet, connecting all these different things is I still feel like, people need to have their own kind of crypto conversion in general, and it has to come, from themselves almost. I know I've tried to convince another, friend or a couple other friends to get into it, and it still has that connotation of, what are you trying to sell me? What's this pyramid scheme or scam you're trying to get me into? Even as simple as, Ozark, I'm sure you experienced this too, where you're trying to send your friend an NFT or a lion that would be worth so much more, and you're like, I'm not trying to, take money from you or something. I'm just sending you a picture of a lion. But I think there still is that connotation, and I like, just kind of a little bit off topic, but I like what FTX and Sam and that whole team is doing as far as marketing goes. We'll start to see them start to dominate the space. I know Coinbase is kind of the dominant, at least for the United States right now. But incorporating sports figures like Tom Brady, a few others, renaming stadiums, things like that, just to get into the mind share and the ideas and heads of people. What is FTX? Get them thinking a little bit, but I think it's more of a mindset change almost, other than an economic. It can be expensive and a technical too, but I do agree those obstacles are there. So, but yeah.
It's going to be a great day when we move past crypto is used for buying drugs online illegally. Because I don't know
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else still gets that, but I certainly do. It's like, oh, what are you on Silk Road? Like, what? Silk Road what was that? Like 10 years ago? I don't even know how long ago was that now. Like, there's a movie about it, for God's sake. Like, it's no longer. It's so much bigger than that, and it's slightly alarming. But I think like that's where there's a lot more progress to be had, even though there has been a lot of progress, right? Like, I think from 2017 to today, there was like a lot of technical advances, but a lot more potentially awareness to those technical advances. Like, a lot of white papers were written and like published back then in 2017 during the last like big cycle, and everyone was like interested. But there wasn't a lot of the ability to use anything. And now we're finally at a point where things are usable, at least. So like it's come to a point now where you can actually log in and do stuff in crypto and on the blockchain, which is like kind of nuts. But it's still so new, and I think still people wrapping their heads around like what even I mean I guess there is different stages, right? Like you have to understand like the blockchain, and then like why does this even freaking matter, and then what does like a decentralized like platform even mean, and all these different aspects that come with like as you go layers and layers into this subject. But at least technically now you can do things that are decentralized, where doesn't mean that it's marketed well and people still understand like even what that actually means. So I think there's ways to go, but I think the first part was like being able to build something that is actually usable in some form of fashion, even though it's still not like at Twitter usable, like Web 2, I should say.
So I love that, and I got someone to pick on that I don't know, but I'm about to know. So Jesse, you're CEO and co-founder of Kraken, correct? So I'm sure
Yeah.
you have some opinions on this stuff. Well, very nice to meet you, first of all, and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
This is my second space. I did one yesterday with the Lazy Lions, and we talked about Lazy Lions. Today we're talking a little bit broader and want to talk about NFTs and stuff. And Kraken is one of my favorite exchanges, but I use pretty much most of all of them, so that doesn't mean much. Sorry, but my Monero just sit there because nowhere else will hold it, as far as I remember, and when I got it. So thank you for that. But yeah, I would love your thoughts on all this stuff. I know you're working hard on this stuff. At least I can see it from the outside. That's what I mean.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I'm super pumped about NFTs. I used to own an art gallery for a while, and I had a business before crypto for 10 years selling virtual items and currencies for online games. So, I was also like a domain hoarder like back in the day. So it's sort of just like the natural kind of like confluence of like all of the things that I'm interested in. And I think I think the market's getting like a little bit like saturated right now. It's like we're starting to like run out of like animals to mint. But I think that it's it's amazing to me that, we worked so hard for like a decade to try to get people to adopt Bitcoin. And like, all we really had to do was like come out with like NBA Top Shots or like, Apes and Lions or something to like actually get people interested, and so many people are coming into the space now because of the art, because of these NFT communities, because of the collectibles, and then learning about like Bitcoin after that. Um, so I think that's like really fascinating. I've been going like deep on NFTs like for the last several months now. Kind of cooled off on like buying things on my main account because I just started to get like so harassed on Twitter about people constantly, like spamming me to like check out their art or whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm following the space closely. I think it's super exciting. I think there's like a lot of projects out there that don't have much merit that are just like going for a cash grab right now. So I think time will tell like which communities really manage to like continue to grow and build things around the NFTs. But like the concept of having basically like a badge or like a proof of membership kind of thing that you can carry around with you, that's tradable, I think is super awesome.
Thanks. I just love hearing those thoughts. I am curious, if you can share anything around how you folks think about it at Kraken in terms of, are you going to do anything with NFTs? What are your thoughts there? I mean, you do have now some really usable product that you didn't have not too long ago. So I would say if someone asked me, hey, who do you think has an opportunity? It's obviously you folks. So any thoughts, anything to add there? I'm just curious, like utterly
Yeah,
curious about what you're thinking in your head about that stuff.
I don't want to reveal too much of our roadmap, but
Understood.
definitely something we're thinking about. There are a lot of new problems presented by like the idea of doing NFT custody. With fungible crypto, if you're managing like sort of imagine like a cash register or something, like one guy's deposit can be another guy's withdrawal. Like it doesn't really matter, and you just kind of keep what you only need in the hot wallet to manage like that day's withdrawals, and everything else goes into cold storage. Well, you like can't really do that with NFTs, right? It's like you deposit your line or your ape or whatever. If you want to withdraw it like 5 minutes later, we can't pull it out of cold storage. So, how do you handle that? Is it like when someone deposits something, basically you tell them, or they decide like how long they want to keep it for? Like, hey, are you gonna keep this here for like 24 hours? Do you want to keep it safe for like 2 weeks? And if it's 2 weeks, maybe we can put it in cold storage or like a warmer, wallet, but not like the hot wallet. So there's some like extra risk issues to deal with, basically managing, potentially like millions of NFTs in like a hotter wallet than we would normally like, and the value of all these NFTs could be way more than we would normally keep in like a Bitcoin hot wallet, for example. So there's like some security, like architecture and like UX questions around that. And then obviously I think the ideal situation is people can still like sign messages from their NFT, like from a custody solution without having to withdraw it to MetaMask or something, and then sign a message from there. So there are like a lot of interesting problems to solve. We're like thinking through all this. Yeah, hopefully you'll hear more from us on this like soon.
I love it. I think that's something I didn't think about as clearly as obviously you have and as deeply. Super interesting if there's something that would kind of bridge the gap that we currently have with that stuff. It's got me thinking about all kinds of random things. So I guess I'm going to flip it on you, Jesse, if you still have a couple minutes.
Yeah.
You have a pretty solid audience here of folks who are kind of really into the Lazy Lions community. Do you have any questions around like what we think about the NFT side of things or anything like that? I mean, this is like I'm here because this community is pretty awesome, and we have the community members here, and so yeah, just wondering if you had any thoughts for them. Not to put you on the spot, but I thought you might.
Yeah,
Or
well,
any questions?
I definitely have like a question for you guys. I haven't been
Sweet.
following Lazy Lions as closely, been following like CryptoPunks or Apes. So I'm curious about like how you think of yourselves as being like differentiated from, there's like a million copycats out there right now. There's like a new community launching like daily. Curious how you guys think about differentiation and whether all these other animals, creatures that are popping up, like all have a chance of like, maintaining a community long term? Or do you think there's going to be like some kind of consolidation? What do you think about like pricing people out of the community? And is there any like plan to do, kind of cheaper versions that can get people into the community like at a lower price point?
Like it's a bubble, correct? Um, I I personally, my opinion on this, what differentiates us from other communities, specifically the Lions, is just that, the community. I think that you said it earlier. The community is kind of the driving force of all of these NFTs, and I think it shows pretty strongly with apes and punks and all these people who have this access card and get to be a part of the cool kids club, right? I think if you go step into our Discord for, maybe maybe a minute, 2 minutes, you will you'll get the feel for why they're a little bit different. You can go on Twitter, you can see it, whatnot. I know most of the NFT hashtags and everything fall to other NFTs, but I think that concern is something. The concern of it consolidating, people being priced out, is something that has been already put to the test with, the apes, for example. Today, that auction that went for 19 million or whatever it was. I think that it has been proven that it grows, at least to this extent. It'll be interesting to see what it goes to. I mean, I think all of us in this space kind of, I'm not trying to speak for everybody, but I think we all understand there's a bit of uncertainty. I think we all want to have our ideas and what this space will be, but it's changed so fast. And I think what's proven now, especially with so many projects launching, is if you don't have a community, even if your art is amazing, there's some really great art out there, but if you don't have the community to back you up, you just don't exist.
Yeah, so if I could jump in there for you, Jesse, real fast. I'm T Knowles. I've been in the NFT space since about the 16th of August, so a little over 3 weeks, so super new. I'm speaking from like personal experience of the customer journey, right, of onboarding and not having an ounce of crypto, and then navigating the space and figuring it all out. But but primarily, right? Yeah, thanks, man.
Good move.
But it's part of it is like there's a thesis where the new people that are coming into this market. Well, actually, let me back that up. There's a couple assumptions, right? If they go into this, first is that the market is rapidly expanding, right? OpenSea has done more volume in August than they did their entire life cycle, right, prior to that, and then September is even on pace to do more than that, right? So that's a signal that there's more people entering the market trying to test the waters. Then if you factor in the fact that most people are not going to either have the means or the ability or the risk tolerance to spend $100,000 on an ape or a punk or anything like that to kind of test the waters and go where they're going to go. So that means like that there's a vacuum, right? There's a void where there needs to be a welcoming and honest and like well-natured, good virtued type of community that you can onboard people into and then take them kind of like a metaphorical bus ride, right, from like where they are today to the future of like being part of a blue chip community. And I think that you're going to see those kind of patterns reemerge every so often in terms of like a few months or something like that as the organizational like or the community life cycle evolves. But one will go and elevate to blue chip status and another one will take its place, and you'll kind of have this little elevator effect as the community expands. But in doing that, like that's kind of where we were, or where I was like, let's do this mad dash, get out there and capture as many unique wallets as we can, bring them into the space and treat them right and treat them honestly and take care of them, welcoming them into the community, and then bring them up into the blue chip status, right? And if we can do that effectively over and over and over again, then the community is going to grow, and the results are going to speak for themselves. So I'll shut up now, but and let Aaron kind of hop in. But that's kind of my perspective.
Yeah, if I could ask a question, there's a lot of parallels that have been raised to the shitcoin scams that essentially proliferated 2017 and 18, in which people would sell coins at like 0.0x ETH, and then they would pump it up and sell it, and eventually the whole thing will crash. Now, outside of maybe CryptoPunks and apes, we see similar kinds of trends in the NFT space as well, in which there is a primary sale which is usually in the zero point 0x ETH. And then after a few days, it gets pumped up on the secondary markets. And many of them crash and come back to really low prices, and very few of them get to escape velocity. So, can we really look at the space and say, touching our hearts, in all honesty, that money is not a factor and people are doing it for the love of art? It seems like mostly it is driven by greed, money, and status. And maybe the love of art and community is kind of a very small percentage of it. So, I just wanted some honest thoughts on how we see this resolving itself over the next few months.
Yeah, so I just wanted to pop in real quick. So this is what I like so much about T Knowles is because he's like definitely the he's a good business mouthpiece for what Lazy Lions represents, and I appreciate that about him. Me on the other side, I'm just I like to think of myself as like the passion end of Lazy Lions, and to kind of hit on both what AJ and Jesse was speaking in. Something that I really like when it comes to our community is the want and willingness to bring in new people. And I know T Knowles was talking about that a bit. Um, and AJ, to your point, we were just having this conversation within the Discord today of, how we're not interested in, just kind of these pump and dump, like, let's sweep the floor so that it increases the price all of a sudden so that everyone's immediately priced out, and then first person to dump their bags wins, basically. And that's something that we're um, really trying to avoid and try to go against within our community. Something that we like to say a lot is, we're lazy lions, so we always say roars are greater than floors. And it just basically boils down to the fact that we are more hyped up about engaging new people and getting as many people into the positive vibes of our community as possible, and not focused on the micro of like, let's get this floor to this number today so that like I said, it's just a rush to dump the bags. And I'm not saying that every community is like that or whatever, but you do have stuff like that a lot. And I think for me and a lot of other people, specifically in the lazy lion space, we are more interested in and just getting as many unique people into our community, not for any specific financial reason as much as it is um, like we're so positive. And for me personally, I love helping new people in this space. And I like hyping people up, and that's something that I'm super passionate about, and I like projecting positivity. So the more people that we can incorporate into that world, I see as a win, no matter what the entry price is. It's more so for me, it's just building something that's amazing and fun and great, and then all that other micro stuff will take care of itself.
Right. So, one question for you. So, what percentage of the people in Discord do you think are here to have fun? They love art and they maybe even have a passion for lions, versus the ones who just want to get early in on the NFTs and maybe then flip it later. Because I also feel like there's a certain amount of delusion among founders as well in the space, that we are in it for the greater good, and maybe some of it is true, but it is also denying the fact that there is a lot of money involved in this. I mean, let's accept this. You would not be doing this if these NFTs were not selling for thousands and tens of thousands of dollars.
I agree.
So if money is the motivating factor, so why are we
Mm,
all acting as if that is not the case, and we
mm,
somehow love to do fun and we are engaging for the heck of it?
so it's easy to overgeneralize like that. Um, I'm not in it for the money. Me personally, I like being affiliated with one, the brand and the look. But ultimately, I've connected with some of the other folks in here, and at a deeper level, like we share the cell phone numbers, and we find out that we have more in common outside of this than than just these NFTs. Like, yes, if in your mindset, you're looking at it from a dollar value and blah blah blah. Um, but I'm beyond that. Honestly, I have three lions personally, and each one of them means something to me. And I know it sounds cringe, it sounds cliche, like what I'm saying. But I didn't make this investment to for a quick return. So I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone in the community. Obviously, there's some that are looking to make that crypto punks and bored apes flip. But if they think that's going to happen overnight, I think they're in the wrong. They're in the wrong. I guess community, right? Ultimately, for me
Yeah.
though, it's about expressing myself in a way differently that's accepted. Like I'm not saying it's a childish thing, but I like roaring. I like going into a room and it's okay to come out of your traditional way of living and express yourself in the spirit of an animal, which is the king of the jungle, right? Um, and I know you're like, oh, this guy's full of shit. But if you know who I am, bro, and you know what I'm doing, you know, the money isn't it. And if the money comes, great. But one thing that I've said in the Discord and that I've told people, my lions aren't for sale. I take pride. I take a lot of pride, no pun intended, in having something that no one else has. Right. So that also has value, but you have to I guess transcend in your perspective of what an NFT is. Right. To some people, it's still something that has an immediate value, but once the entire community is beyond that, and you're not in, that's when that rocket's gonna take off. And ultimately they bring out a spirit
Hmm.
of me like that. I always come in here and I do my I like the Wizard of Oz line, and it allows me to connect. And it's also something that yesterday and the day before that, I've been able to share a space with the person who created this. So just to be even able to exchange energy frequencies with someone else that's innovating at a higher level rubs off on me. And since I've made these purchases, and I said it yesterday, I look at cryptocurrencies through a whole new lens, right? And it's allowing a different me to come out, a more I like to say beast animal, a more energetic me, and it's rubbing off on the community that I lead, right? And ultimately, there's this one overlooked aspect that was mentioned yesterday, but we all call each other kings and queens, man. Like that's normal. That's like drinking a glass of water in the lion community. And I'm not saying that we can't call you that, but unless you go in and you invest in this and you believe in this, because ultimately, if you're a lion, man, you'll have access to tech, bro. You can reach out to me just off the fact that we're part of this community. I'm gonna respond to you. We'll be able to exchange ideas. Like this isn't just this JPEG, but ultimately this image you can't have it. And if you have it, I'm gonna come at you with a if you have it without my permission, I'm gonna come at you with a hornet's nest of stinging killer bees, right? So, it's more than just a JPEG. It's more than just that current ETH value. You have to think bigger picture and who you're connecting with, because there's real people behind these images, right? And one indicator as to what this means is that you're dealing with a blue chip club of people. We're not here. I'm not saying it's about pinching pennies or anything like that, but we're not worried about 2, 3K, 4K, 5K, 10K, whatever it is. And that should tell you what the type of movers and shakers that are sitting behind these lions with whatever expression that they have on their face.
Yeah, and AJ, if I could, I'll piggyback on what Tech's saying, right? But that's part of the value, right? So initially, 3 weeks ago, man, I was just like you, that, and had that. Let me figure out what's up. I was attracted by the money and the everybody's out there doing this. What's going on? I got to see what's up. And what I found, and what I would challenge you to do, is if you want to learn, like, just reframe it to where you can make yourself a 30-day experiment, right? And in that 30 days, just fully commit to a community that vibes with you or that resonates with you, and get after it. And I think a lot of this stuff will be apparent. But the main thing is like, as the value of the token, or the cost of entry, the ticket price that you pay to have access to the people, it is directly reflected upon the value that is created for the community, right? Like, the people that are in that community are going to help each other out. They're going to support each other. They're going to go out and invest in the ventures that people are trying to start, right? They're going to be your early adopters to whatever it is that you're trying to do, and that's reflected on the cost of entry into that thing. So if we're doing the right things and actually building up the community in a transformational kind of way, rather than a transactional kind of way, but we're doing the right things with a long-term focus, I mean, the community grows and community prospers. Each individual member within that community, their own individual reach and audience and platform expands. And then before you know it, all of these things are just compounding it over each other, over and over and over again. And then you get this massive amount of, like, this organization. There's just this mega army of influencers or micro influencers that can just accomplish almost anything, like, that they set their mind out to do. And so that's really where you're getting at, rather than just, let's make, a couple $100 or $1,000 on this bag, right? Like, that's not what it's about. It starts out that way for a lot of people, but once you understand it and you dive in and you embrace it, that's what you get to.
May I raise my hand?
And I just want to give.
Okay, go ahead. If I could have next.
Sorry,
Go,
just
go for it,
real
buddy.
quick. Sorry, real quick. I just wanted to give like a personal example for me, AJ. In the real life world, I come from a film background,
That's
and
cool.
I've paid like $6,000-7,000 for an access ticket to get to a film market, to just connect with people, to try to make connections and discuss ideas and everything like that. But that isn't looked at strangely by the mass community. No one says, "Oh, well, why did you spend $7,000 for this, in real life meetup connection?" And it's been a month in this community, and I've already made connections with people just specifically inside of my outside crypto interest. And I think that's something to take in, to consideration as well when it comes to NFTs, in the way that it's, you have to look past the fact that it's an art, and more so like it's a ticket. It's an admission ticket. It's a VIP membership card to not only, the community that the development team is building, but also every other person that is connected with you. Because, within a month, I've spoken to more people about film stuff, and I feel like made a stronger connection with this community in outside interests than I did at that $7,000-8,000 weekend trip that I did, previously.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just jump in really quick. And I just want to challenge the idea a little bit about, that it is a problem to make money. I get the shit coin, flipping things, rugging people. That's not what the Lions are about. But I want to challenge the idea of making money and growing a brand, because I see these people every day: T Knowles, Aaron, Ozark, a few others as well. I didn't know any of these people before August 6th when I first bought my Lion, but now I'm invested, every single day working with these guys. And of course, there's so many other people as well. Just building the brand out. And you own a Lion, you buy a stake almost in the company, you're buying in with yourself. And I think there's a lot to be said about, just in general about the NFT space, where it's not just about pumping this coin or that coin and seeing it go to the moon and things like that and then dumping on people. There are real Lions, like Tech was saying. There are real people behind these pictures, where we're actively working together to build a great brand and a great community. And it all starts with the Discord. So AJ, I definitely think you should check out the Discord. Just say hi, and without seeing much happen, you'll see 5, 6, maybe 10 people just respond hi back. And I think there's really something powerful to that. And you'll start to see the same names over and over again, and you'll just start to become friends. And I think that's really where the value is. And as T Knowles was saying, the price will reflect, how powerful and how strong we are as a community. And I think that's where, making money is not a problem if we think we are very valuable and we make ourselves very valuable. So,
Hi. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, AJ. I can chime in after
No,
you. I was just gonna follow up on that.
no, I was just going to say first, I want to thank all of you for being for taking on the reservations and giving very powerful views about how you see the community, and that's actually wonderful to see, right? So the one thing I would say is a little more education needs to happen on the community behind each NFT, as well as the fact that this is an offline membership, that people are in it for more than the money. Because as much as the founders may believe that to be the case, I mean, I am a part of, like, I don't know, 25, 30 NFT Discord groups. I do think a lot of people who come in, they don't know what exactly to expect, and many of them are expecting to make some money off this, right? Some of them do change their views over time. So more constant education and talking about the bigger picture can help a lot. It can change minds, right? The second thing I would say is that this is complicated stuff, right? I mean, there is money involved for sure. I mean, without tokens and money underlying this, nobody would be doing it. But there is also community. So there is some good in it, but there's also some complex parts of it. And so just being honest about it and grappling with the different strands and just having that intellectual humility is a good thing for all of us. Because it's not like we have all figured it out. It's not like the money and greed part of it is totally absent. And it is not like the art and community part of it is missing and everything is transactional either. So it's a spectrum in which we all trying to figure out what does this new tech mean for finance, what does it mean for art, and it's a journey. And just being a little bit humble about that can actually help all of us. But I think thanks to you guys for talking for your community and what you've done, and it's awesome to see.
Thanks, AJ.
I
So
just I
can I?
I can wait. If I still need to wait, I'll wait. Go for it.
Yeah, I'll rock paper scissors you for it, Zach.
Don't.
Okay, ready?
Okay, I'm throwing the rocks.
Ah, I
What do
threw
I got?
paper. Sorry.
Oh,
Just
you
kidding.
won. Okay, go.
I'll be really quick.
It's all good.
I just keep on hearing the recurring theme about community, and many times every day, particularly in the Lazy Lions community. And sorry, this is towards AJ. I think you understand it, but there's a lot of people here who aren't part of the Lazy Lions community because they might just be popping in. And so this might be for that broader audience that many times during the day, people pop in. It's like, I was in such and such Discord and it was just toxic and they were mean. And I asked questions and I got kicked out because I asked questions. And I can honestly say, because I stare at my phone an inordinate amount of time that I probably could be more productive in life, that the responses that people have for questions, and they're always like, this might be a stupid question, and I was like, there are no stupid questions. We're all at different places in our NFT journey and understanding what this is. And especially today with Lazy Lions, the Roar Awards are dropping tomorrow, and so you have a lot of people popping in like, what do I have to do? And no matter how many times that question was asked today, especially with the launch of the new website, disconnecting people who were previously connected and just new people coming in, no matter how many times it's like, okay, you got to do this. Have you tried this? Have you checked the pin messages? Like, let me know if you have any questions. DM me. Let's figure it out together. And I've been in other Discords where it's like, why are you asking such a stupid question? Can't you read 5 lines up and see that? But that's just not the case with Lazy Lions. And I love the phrase roars above floors as well. So I have all these thoughts that I'm sitting on. Roars above floors. It's I I was on I think I did it on Twitter. I responded to someone and it's like we are all on the same team, and people like other discords complains like all the lines are showing up to this one again. It's like, yeah, you know why? Because we are all on the same mission, that we don't care if necessarily the person that we're responding to is going to buy a lazy lion, but you never know who's going to read the comments and be like, wow, there's a lot of people here, I want to be a part of that. And so many people joined in to the Discord uh, through seeing our messages and stuff. It's like we have a sense of urgency that we have to be the first, we have to be the most liked, the most commented, and that's what ultimately is going to help, because then you see that and you're like, oh man, I'm going to join in, I'm kind of scared about this, and then everyone's like so welcoming and so ready to help and ask questions and just help people grow in their journey of understanding NFTs and crypto and DeFi. um, so that's just I've been bubbling out and wanting to tell people because I don't talk to people in real life because of COVID. So if there's anyone here who's like, I've been nervous, I've been hearing about NFTs, come DM me, get the Discord link, come say hi, find it on the Lazy Lions Twitter account. Come say hi. Like, don't be nervous. We are here to help you and be your friend. And someday we'll all meet up in Sydney with the devs and have a good time together.
And that right there, I think, David, and everything you just mentioned there is like a big part to the community aspect, that the underlying that brings together a lot of what the Lazy Lions got going for them, I think, in the community aspect. And the most interesting part that you were saying here, David, that to me is that, like, this idea that crypto is incredibly intimidating for people that have no idea about crypto. Not only is it intimidating, but you're also dealing with money that is in some weird digital currency. So if you're not even understanding what it is, it's you're dealing with currency and money, and it's a huge leap of faith. And the fact that the Lazy Lion community, and David just like hit the nail on the head there, is so warming and welcoming to the idea of something that could be so terrifying, is, I think, a big aspect that is like an undertone to, and of course, like David and a lot of the community, we are doing this. There's no, they're like you know, honestly, like, it's not like they're on the team or a founder or anything like that. We're just awesome people, right? They're just awesome people. So I think that's a big part to this whole movement and what a community actually means, and this idea of like helping people ramp, because the aspects aren't there yet for it to be incredibly intuitive and native. It's not like signing up to Twitter. There's a there's a whole lot of like hurdles to getting to an NFT, and I think that's a big driving force to this community, the Lazy Lions in particular, because like many, like I've been in a bunch of NFT discords, and I come from a bit of the gaming space, and it's just like total polar opposite of like you're just worried about every word that you say rather than actually being in something where it's completely warming, welcoming, being greeted as a king or a queen. It's just like it's like kind of weird almost, and you're second guessing like, is this feels very strange. But yeah, it's definitely, I think, a very big undertone to this part of the community aspect. So yeah, awesome stuff, David.
All right. Hey, Zach. Sorry for making you wait, but
Hey,
we got some shit to say here. So, but go
go
ahead.
for it.
Your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Look, I just wanted to make a comment, and then I want to get off so that someone else can take the spot. Because all I wanted to say, my little comment, was that you're seeing Paris Hilton, you're seeing Ashton Kutcher, you're seeing all these Logan Paul. It's it's going mainstream, and I think this is my own opinion, and then I guess I just wanted to troll a little bit, drop a comment, and then get out.
Do your
With
thing.
the
It's okay. We can handle it.
okay, with the lazy, I don't hold a lazy lion, um, I, or else I'd have it as my profile pic. But I I've only been in this about 6 to 8 months. And I've just actually just been sitting back and watching. So my, but I'm seeing you have 130 people on your Discord right now. That's awesome. That's a lot of people that are putting their time into. So you're trying to start something, or you already have started something and it's growing. That's great. So all I wanted to say was that, in my own opinion, is that these famous people are getting into it, and I believe, I could be wrong, could be right. Um, it's going to get oversaturated in all these little profile pics of the monkeys and the lions and the dinosaurs and the chickens. It's all the penguins. It's at some point it has to go deeper. I think where like you got Beeple's art,
So let's
and that's all I
talk on
wanted to
that real
say.
quick. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Oh
I
yeah,
got on
Excellent.
the
preach.
And thank you for letting
All
me
right,
talk.
no doubt. So
Of course.
now let's look at this. This is a smart
Because
contract,
I
right?
don't know where to put my money yet.
This
Okay, that
this
was my
is
thing.
this is something that's more exclusive than Bitcoin, right? It's also a cryptocurrency. Doesn't have an automated market maker tied to it. It's all dependent on the demand and what someone's willing to pay for. But let's not ignore the way the world is moving right now. We're getting deeper and deeper in terms of digital
Hell yeah,
connection, right?
metaverse, and people are tripping.
So it
And the
doesn't, and
coronavirus put a lot of people. I'm sorry, a lot of the like the other guy said. I don't remember his name, but he said he was quarantined. So he had money, and then he's trying to spend time into this, and he's willing to help other people. So people are going deeper into
so
this
and
metaverse
for
thing.
years, artists have been struggling, and they've been hungry
I
out there, and
like that.
they've had to do a lot of work to get their art recognized. It's now where the platform is there, the currency is there. These pieces are being pegged to a certain value at a point in time,
But
right?
in
There's
my
there's
opinion, you can do better than a CryptoPunk or a monkey.
It
I think
doesn't
there should
matter
be.
though.
I think there should be
I don't think
3D
it's about
art.
I
No.
don't think it's about comparing. I think it's beyond the image. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
Me personally, because
Hmm.
I went to the #1 art school in New York City as a teen, so
Nice.
I appreciate what's happening right now. And you have to understand, like, there's people paying millions of dollars for an oil painting, right? Now humanity's transitioning into this fully digital space. So you could look at it as, hey, it's an image, blah, 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 and there's more
I'm
images
not looking at
coming.
it like that, but it sounds
You
like I'm
know,
coming off like that because I like to
no,
play
no, no,
devil's
no, no doubt,
advocate.
no
But go
doubt,
ahead.
no doubt. But understand, get back to what I said earlier. We're building a community. You're part of a smaller circle, right? The
Hmm.
circle is probably the biggest value add
It's all
to
about
this.
people wanting friends, in my opinion.
It not about wanting friends. It's about finding people with like-minded aspirations that are into
Hmm.
something that you're also into, right?
Okay.
I wouldn't advise anyone to get into this if you don't believe in it. At that point, you're gonna be floor watching. You're gonna be waiting for that bot to
Hmm.
offer you the next price, and you might paper hand it and sell it for nothing. So only get into this if you understand the full spectrum of what it means to have one of these NFTs. And if you're gonna be pocket watching and looking at the price all day and not moving with the
The
community,
funny thing is, though,
yeah,
there's Doge Pounds, there's Crypto Punks, there's
and
Bored
that's
Ape Yacht
okay, man.
Clubs. How do you pick which one to
That's
get
okay.
into?
Find what meets your soul, what meets your demand. At the end of the day, there's BMW, there's Mercedes, there's
That's true. Actually,
Kia,
that's a good
there's
point. Okay.
so you don't get stuck on the
You actually made some really good sense there.
Yeah, and Tech, just to touch on that, because you made a really good comparison there with vehicles. Art has been around for millions and millions of years, just
You
like
just gotta remember there's
storytelling.
people that are new to this too. That's why.
Well, art's been around for years and years, right? Millions of
True.
years. It's just now it's in a different vehicle, right? So how we consume art isn't through oil paintings necessarily. We still will, but now this is a new way, and I think Tech said it perfectly. Like, invest in what you like and believe in, and this is just another vehicle. And on top of that, there's so much utility that we haven't even seen yet. So this is the beginning of a very, very special time.
I think that's very good. I'm gonna continue to listen. I'm gonna take off the speaker in case someone else wants to. And hey, by the way, as my way out, did y'all see the Matrix 4 preview?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Looks dope.
It's awesome. It looks super cool. It looks like he was reborn and then forgot his life. He doesn't remember he's the one. Okay. So thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna hop off.
Thanks for joining.
I'm gonna listen, but I'm gonna hop off a speaker so you get someone else. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, kings and queens, what's going on? Okay, so I kind of just wanted to brush on my journey a bit as well. So, I've been in the crypto space for like 4 years, and, I've seen NFTs come around, and at the beginning I was like, what? Why would anyone pay for like some digital art? And even this year, until recently, a bunch of my mates got in, and so I decided to go on OpenSea and maybe scroll through like 100 projects. I really dig the art of Lazy Lions, and then decided to join the Discord. Yeah, for sure. Like, money is definitely a motivating factor when I initially got in, but I would argue that's, yeah, for like anyone who joins the cryptocurrency space, for sure. NFTs is just another platform for people to invest in. Yeah, then I joined the Discord, and you realize like it's so much more than just the art, right? Like, it's the whole community. And a common phrase in the Lazy Lions Discord is, you come for the money, but you stay for the family, you stay for the kings and queens. And if sometimes it feels like if you ever want to sell a lion, it's like you're selling a part of yourself, you're selling a part of the community. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is that I think, as Jesse said, that, yeah, like, for sure, NFT markets right now, like, there's tens of thousands of projects that are coming out, and I'm sure that 99% of them will fail just because the community is not there, the vibe is not right, even if there is amazing art. Um, in terms of like growth and stuff, yeah, like, for sure, like, in my opinion, I hold that NFTs will experience a strong phase, a strong parabolic move, which we've already seen in projects such as Bored Apes, Crypto Punks, even Lions a bit. But I think that it will correlate pretty strongly with how bullish the crypto market remains, at least for the next, I don't know, 6 months or so. And then, yeah, I'm sure we'll see a period of consolidation, a period of cooling where, projects even such as Lions, experience a pretty big correction. And I'm sure thousands of projects will die off. But as you were saying, there needs to be some sort of differentiating factor and something that separates Lions from other projects. And I think that, yeah, community is definitely one part of it, but also just finding some practical use case of the NFTs. For example, we've seen in Axis, a play to earn game type of vibe has been really successful. And I really do think that's the type of future. On top of that, I believe, yeah, so we've talked about that with the founders, just, possible play to earn games kind of thing down the line. And also, Jesse was talking about how, a lot of people will be priced out, as you've seen in CryptoPunks or Bored Apes. Everyone wishes they've had a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk, but, in reality, it's really unaffordable. And yes, Lions at the moment is probably unaffordable for some, but it is pretty accessible. And there are plans down the line to make other NFTs branch off Lions, as a founder have discussed with us, and that will definitely make it more accessible and allow the community to grow and to prosper. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Yeah, thanks for the perspective. It's always great to hear from anybody about this stuff. Who else has something to say? Any questions, thoughts? What's going on?
Yeah, hey, I just jumped on. Thanks for having me. Getting the adrenaline from public speaking, right?
There you go.
Even if it's on Twitter Spaces. Yeah, I think we're in a really super interesting time, and for me, there was a point that resonated a little bit earlier on like this cost of networking. I think somebody mentioned like a networking group for film or something like that. I think that applies here because where else can you find a honestly group of weirdos? I consider myself a weirdo, right? They would pay $1,000 plus or some non-substantial amount of money, like a shitty Civic, if you're
Hey,
in
it's
the
a really
Midwest like
nice
I am.
Civic.
Yeah, there you go. For a JPEG, right? And that is crazy, but the world I want to live in is one where I don't think a lot of these projects do have a roadmap. I think that this is an experiment that's happening. It's a crazy one. It's very early. It's like what we're hearing these terms Web3. I've watched crypto since 2010, but I'm not I wasn't smart enough to get in. And part of it's wanting to get in, but also like see what these waves are and recognize them and build the future and be a part of that. If anything else, like fuck it, this is a great story. Either way, no matter what happens, I want to live with that non-regret. But yeah, what I'm getting at, like that cost of entry, I think again connects you to people that likely have other interests that are shared and similar. So that's why I'm here. I got my little crypto lion with the cigar and zombie face, I think 3 days ago. And I remember just like hesitating, like I had the ETH, like shit, there's like gas fees and like all this, like fuck it, let's go. And I'm not gonna go crazy and full tilt, like cash out everything and go bankrupt. But I think being a part of this is really super interesting, and yeah, that's my angle on it.
Thanks for sharing.
Sure, thanks.
I think we've got Noah up here. You just came up here. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. So I just had a question for you guys. So I haven't bought an NFT yet. I've been doing quite a bit of research. I feel like I understand it, pretty well now. And I've been listening to you guys for a little bit here. So one of the things I'm curious about, because most of you have said that like, what makes NFT communities or just NFTs in general valuable, and especially like the Lion community, is just the community and the people that you get to meet, and that's like a big part of it. Like I can see that like something about having skin in the game as a community also makes it, that's like a big part of it. Probably like that incentivizes everyone to kind of be a part. But I mean, I'm just still trying to figure out like why, there could be like why NFTs, why hasn't this kind of stuff really taken off for communities with other technologies? Like, why did we need NFTs to kind of allow for this? Like, it seems like, you could just have to pay like a fee up front to get into a community, and you could probably get most of the same thing. So yeah, I'm just curious, like why do you guys think that NFTs is a big part of making this happen?
I'll shoot off real quick. I think it has everything to do with making friends online. And how do you do that in today's world? And I just turned 40 this year. And at the end of the day, like it's like meeting new people gets harder and harder over time, unless you're an extreme weirdo. I'll claim to be a weirdo myself, but like unless you're like traveling around or doing whatever. So I think it's a way for everybody to come together. I do believe that the financial aspects of it actually help to kind of give like a personal incentive that's real. We talked about this earlier, so I'm not going to dive into any of these things that we talked about earlier. But like, you come for whatever reason you come into it for, whether it's the art, the money, the potential, want to be in on something, want to be an early adopter. There's all those. There's so many reasons. Like most people don't just have one anyway, and then you realize there's something more here. So to me, like it's almost like the hooks were missing and we got bored is the way I describe it, of like just going and trying to sign up for a forum. And a lot of the internet turned into utility and has decreased in fun in those ways. And this is kind of new fun. At least that's my 40-year-old take on it, I guess.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm sure most of us here are not doing Lazy Lions full time. Besides the devs, probably. I have a full time job. I'm sure most of you do, if not all of you do. And the board concept is just such a good one, I think, because we're all working from home still. I think a lot of us are, especially if you work in the corporate world, like myself, where you have more downtime. You're not, constantly in front of people working. So maybe my real life job isn't as exciting. So I kind of adopted almost a real life job and, something to do online. I have my computer in front of me all day. I may as well just have another tab open, have the Discord open, make some friends, and get into something that's really interesting. A lot of us here also obviously have, a crypto interest in general. So NFTs are almost like the next step deeper. And, what I found is it's just so exciting to be here. It's just, you can adopt almost, a whole entire community of people. You can be, whoever you want to be. It's, pretty anonymous, obviously, but it's fun as well, where, you're also meeting people. We've had people reach out, in different spaces, experience, working at really high levels like Heaton, for example, or, someone jumping in their first NFT. And it's just cool to see the entire spectrum of it. It's almost like, just sitting here and looking around almost, I think is also a really cool part about the draw for just an NFT in general. I also do want to make the quick sports analogy because, you become a sports fan. I'm an Eagles fan, for example, so I have to be born around the Philadelphia area to be, an Eagles fan. Or, if you were from New York, you'd be a Giants or a Jets fan or whatever sport you're interested in. And you have skin in the game because you live in that area, you were born there, your parents were interested in the teams, or however else you get involved. And when you join the Lazy Lions or any NFT, for example, you're kind of putting skin in the game where you're rooting for the Lions and you're going to do whatever you can to make them succeed. And I think that's really the thrill of it for what I find. So it's just something to do. It's cool to build a brand. I like doing that type of thing. So that's, I guess, what interests me, if that helps at all.
You made a really good point too, that it is anonymous, and that's one thing. Like when someone was saying earlier, like, "Hey, joining a clan or joining a group or whatever the case may be, you don't always have that luxury." And especially for people in the space, a lot of people are introverts, right? So this is just gives them a platform where they can be themselves and connect with other like-minded individuals. So I think that's a really good point, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'll also say, just to go back to Noah really quick, that I think this has existed, right? Like memberships to get into exclusive clubs or whatever it may be. Just now has been brought to a more modern era, right? Like even in forums, as you mentioned, forums, like most things in Web 2 right now, have been kind of destroyed, or in a sense where it's no longer there's no longer value or a real sense of community. So I think like what's happening now is this idea of an NFT. I mean, there's different angles of NFT, right? Like we're in the PFP NFT talk right now with the Lazy Lions, but there's also the art space that's created a whole ecosystem for creators and artists that basically didn't exist otherwise, unless they were selling it through maybe a Shopify or some other online medium. But like NFTs in general now have created a whole new space for a bunch of different cohorts of people that to connect and collaborate and create that didn't exist prior. And the NFT for PFPs, such as the Lazy Lions, is this whole new modern era of like I think the next wave of a membership, right? So maybe that's a little bit to take on the expansion of what has existed, but now it's just a new I guess turn of modernization of this idea of like a pay to get into a club. Like it's literally kind of like uh, I guess like it's like a collaborative Substack where everyone's got an opinion, can talk, and be part of it. And the entry fee is just obviously not going to be a Substack subscription, but more so a NFT profile photo now. And similar to the networking for $6,000, this is now the entry fee to network as much as you like for as many days or as much time as you want. So it's not like a one-time pass. or a one-time event, I should say. So I don't know. There's not really a point there. There's a bunch of different points that have like been strung together into a ramble, and I apologize about that. But yeah, hopefully.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, I'm in a ton of like just normal communities and kind of membership kind of sites, and there definitely is. There is a problem in a lot of communities where uh, at some point it just kind of drops off. There's not really much going on. There's not really anybody helping each other. And I think kind of like you're saying, like NFTs could be kind of the thing that pushes it forward to like give people skin in the game to actually keep, you know, keep the community strong and like give them more of a reason to kind of keep investing into each other and being part of the community. I guess like what happens though if there's like a crash in the market, NFTs aren't doing as good, like what happens to these NFT communities if something like that happens, where maybe it takes some of that skin in the game out of it a little bit if it's going downhill or something like that?
I mean, I know that we all know that will happen if prices drop, we're gonna lose some people. But I mean, like Robert said, like we join all these groups and clubs in real life. Like people join the country club and the yacht club, and you pay all this money to be in a guild, but you also don't have like an ERC token. Like our little lazy lion is also crypto. So like we traded crypto for a lion, but the lion itself is still a token, so it can be exchanged and traded just like anything else. So it's an investment, but it's also an expression of who we are. And you think about these clubs like 10,000, you're like, oh, 10,000 lions. I mean, that's a lot of lions. But if you think about the world, there's 8 billion people on this planet. So 10,000 is such a small group. So to be a part of this group, I mean, is killer cool. And I'm super happy to be here with you guys. And Froob, I don't even know how you say your name, Froob. You like, when you started off talking earlier, you were like, yeah, we're all not like full-time lions and I've got a full-time job. You are in the Discord like nonstop. You are a full-time lion, my friend. So you are
For
awesome.
sure.
And it's nice to hear your voice, I see you just all day and it's appreciated. It's just cool. So I'm just happy to be here. So
Yeah, I hope none of my colleagues or bosses on right now they wouldn't be too happy, but I'm sure they would be proud that that there is some work being done. So I appreciate that.
All right, we have some new speakers, but before we do that, any other thoughts, Noah? I'm actually really curious about your journey, but you don't have to share. But anything about where you're at in your journey here, I'd love to just hear about. If you have nothing else, it'd be great. And then would love to have some of the new folks talk.
I mean, I have one of my best friends just became a lion, and so that's, I mean, that brings you right into it right there, because you're like, man, why is my friend in here?
Nice.
And me and him actually host a podcast, and so we actually, our latest episode, we just talked about NFTs the whole time. That was fun. So I've kind of dove in, researching how it all works, and just really trying to figure out like why are people getting into this? What's the value people are finding? And yeah, it's definitely been fun learning about it, and it's pretty cool. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Sweet. Thanks for sharing, and I'm glad Ben's a lion. That's great.
Yeah.
No, to touch base, man. Sorry, guys, just saying hello, dropping in again. To touch base on your concern or your question around what happens, if the price drops, if there's volatility. Well, look, I know it's not the exact comparison, right? But like, say, you had a stake in Disney when it first launched, right? There's only 10,000 shares. Now you've got a stake in that when you join a community. Now, whether it's the Lions or the Apes or whoever you join, you could be a part of multiple communities. Right now you're at the cusp, you're at the start of NFTs and what they're about to do for our generation and future generations. So, we haven't even seen the full potential of NFTs. In the future, NFTs will be, your property certificate, it will be your health record, everything will be on chain, it will be secured by your wallet address. And then a lot of value beyond what you see today will come to NFTs. Now, in the next 5 years, this is what I find in the space in general, just in crypto in general, people just don't have a long enough viewpoint. They don't see, and I guess that's fine. You can be short-term flipping, and you can be short-term minded, and you can try and do all that as well, each to their own. But the reality is, right now, in the next 5 to 10 years, NFTs will be everywhere. And the value that communities like Lazy Lions and the Bored Apes and everyone else will have, I very much believe, and I don't think anyone will put their paws on the line and say this, but I very much believe that most of these NFTs will be yield generating. So it won't just be you hold that you're part of a community, you get to jump into Discord and you get to chat. I think it will very much be you are now a portion holder of Disney, or the equivalent. You will get your copyright rights. You will, whatever the club makes, whatever the pride makes, that will be distributed in your rewards. That will come back to the community. Whatever we get involved in as a community, we make as a community, that will get distributed to the community. And going back to what everybody else said, it is exactly like the traditional rewards club, right? The yacht club and everything else that you heard, the older generations get involved in. The difference is now it's digital and it's made for the new era. It's made for the new generation. My younger cousins and my younger family members, I think they've got zero interest in joining a yacht club, but they all love NFTs. And we need to be building it, and we need to be building technology based on the next generation. And that's exactly what NFTs are.
I love that.
Yeah, and
I mean, I want to
I
say,
just
like,
wanted
you're
to
talking about
say,
building and talking about the community and things coming back to the community. So us as a community need to build projects and build the Lazy Lions as a community, and us ourselves create things. So
Correct.
I think that's very well said.
Correct. Everything we put into this, everything and that's what I mean. That we're looking at, what the devs are doing, right? We're looking at, how they're distributing rewards and how they're building out, incentives. But most of these communities that we're going to see in the next, the ones that survive and the ones that thrive and the ones that do the best, are the ones that are going to have community members start building out of their own free time, start building projects on the side with the rewards going back to the community. And the more of those sort of side projects we have within the community, the more powerful the community becomes, and the more valuable the underlying NFT becomes.
I can jump in really quick here and just talk really quickly around this idea again, going back to the comparison to old school, right? The yacht clubs or whatever, golf clubs, I don't know, whatever clubs exist nowadays. I don't know, real world stuff. But I think the difference also can be said that it's yes, there's founders and there's devs, but it's all on chain now, right? And there's a difference there, right? Like the on-chain aspect changes a lot of that because we are now all part of that. Unlike potentially if you are part of a golf club or whatever, there is someone that owns that golf club, and that there is no kickback for you. There's no as the golf club grows, you get more. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, it kind of again pulls that thread further on this idea of like as the community grows, you put more organic projects built on it. The community grows. It's not just about the community; it's about this project. It's about as it builds and compounds, you as part of that community get rewarded. So I mean, that's I think also a slightly different aspect when it comes to this whole how it's coming to Web3 and why it's becoming popular is, there's community wallets for just about every NFT, PFP project nowadays. The Lazy Lions did something really unique with the Roar Awards. And then another one that's becoming incredibly popular nowadays is DAOs. And there's a few people in here that I know would love to talk about DAOs, but it's another aspect of how you can self-govern and push something forward without technically being considered like a company, I guess you could say. And it makes people more interested and invested in what you're doing and building because it's part of a decentralized organization. So and yeah, I'll leave it there, but I think that's part of the extension to why this NFT space, and not just particular to PFPs, but in general, is providing a bit more extension and value to the traditional yacht clubs, is this way that wealth is distributed. So Ozark, I see you. Go for it. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm about to go eat, and I just wanted to. I was busy when you were saying it, and I'm about to go eat now, and I wanted to say one thing to address not just but I'm sure there's people in the audience that share the same concern that you do. What happens when it drops in price, right? Or what happens to the community? And I just wanted to speak for Lazy Lions at least. Recently, there was a little bit of a dip. Nothing, not a crash or anything, right? But a testament, and at least Lazy Lions held up really strong to that in comparison to the market, just because of the community. And I think it's important to emphasize that the community does drive the project. And once again, I'm just speaking for Lazy Lions. There is other projects that, that concern is a reality, and there is always dips in the market. But really, the community is the driving factor. It's a game of trust. You're all trusting each other, and to be frank, you're kind of choosing the price of the product. And it is like a club membership that you all kind of get to choose the price of. It, it's an interesting concept. It is sometimes hard to wrap your head around. Even I still am learning new things every single day about the space. But I just wanted to reassure people that it really is about the community. And if your community that you're buying an NFT, because I don't want to just talk about Lazy Lions in this sense. If your community that you're buying an NFT with is not active, they're not, the devs are not transparent, things, you're not feeling like you're connected to the project, you probably shouldn't put your money into the project, guys. And I think that's why I don't have that same concern with Lazy Lions, is because the roadmap's so clear. And the community, we all kind of have an unspoken agreement not to sell, right? You sell here and there, and there's flipping and whatnot. You want to make a profit, you want to take money off the table, whatever. But that's what maintains the market, and it's the same in any market. But with NFTs, the great thing that I think nobody talks about is there's no overall market maker, and so in the end, it truly is up to the community to maintain the product. And I say it all the time. We are responsible for our own success in this space, guys. And I want to drive that home. But I'm going to go get some food. It's been great. The spaces has been awesome. Thanks, Heaton, for hosting again.
Yeah, it was on a whim. So for sure. Thanks for everyone that joined. And yeah, I think we should be done in a few minutes. So yeah, any last thoughts from anybody? And I'll let you finish too.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eve.
No, that's it.
Hi, go ahead.
Way on some common ground. Thank you for inviting me on the stage. But I've been part of Beta since December, and I've really seen the community grow as far as Twitter Spaces. So we were part of the Beta group in the very beginning. So I just want to give an accolade to everybody here. I'm just starting and launching my first NFT next week. I'm educating myself and just got my first crypto credit card. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody, and love and light. Sending you a star. Quick catch it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
for hopping on.
Awesome, Dr. Evil. I wish you the best with your NFT launch. So
good luck.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful space to be a part of. And Ozark, I love your words. The community here is what makes the Lazy Lions so special. The art is awesome, but the community is so important. I own a few other little projects, and I jump into their Discords, and it's dead. I'll jump in there, and it's like somebody posted something 2 hours ago, and then before that was an hour before that. There's no communication. There's nothing happening. So you before you invest in anything, their Discords are there, their community groups are there. Investigate, jump in, see if they're welcoming, see if the developers are involved. I mean, that's the most important thing. So do your research, and I'm just blessed to be in this. I mean, I had no idea. I didn't do my research, I just thought the Lions were cool, and I'm just lucky that they are cool, and the community is so strong. So
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even own a lion. I definitely want one and will get one, but I just come for these hangs, man, because everyone in this room is so sick. Literally love everyone. I joined the Discord. So much love in there. I've learned diamond paws today.
Nice.
No, you guys are dope. So just thank you for having me. Appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks for the good words. Victor, go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Kings and Queens. How are you today? Um, it's
Doing
just
great.
two questions. I'm not a lot of like a techie guy, but I do have a question regarding the quality of the image. Do you guys know if it's high resolution so I can go ahead and print it out and do like a merch? And the other one was related with that. Can we actually do merch with the commercial rights of the Lions? Does anybody know that?
I don't have it. Oh,
Yep.
go ahead. Go ahead.
You own your commercial rights. Yep, go for it.
Yeah, that's with most NFTs. When you purchase the NFT, part of the contract is that you own that. You own that image. You own the rights to do with it what you want. So um, that should be true.
I would say I'm like 90% sure, 95% sure. But because some projects are slightly different. Like for example, I think CryptoPunks are a little bit more stringent on some of this, but Bored Ape Club or Base, whatever you want to call them, they're a little bit more loose. And I'm fairly certain that we own our full rights, commercial rights to our individual lions. So what that means is do as you please.
As far as image quality, definitely reach out in the support channel. I'm sure Asher and Rizio, actually, you might have a good chance. He was the artist, so definitely reach out to Rizio. If you want to just DM me on Discord, I'll just get you guys in touch with him. So as far as the image quality, so.
And also, just as a quick tip, the biggest image I was able to find was when you go to OpenSea on your Lion, and then you click on the image, you get a real big one. I would just open it in a new image, and you'll see a really big version. It is pretty high res. Depending on what you're trying to do, it should be fine. But obviously, contact the devs and stuff too to make sure that if there is a higher res version than that you can get it.
Oh, great! Thank you so much, guys. That's awesome because I'm gonna start printing t-shirts and hoodies that I'm gonna give away in my businesses that I own. I'm gonna give them to my clients. So I wanted to just be sure of that and not get sued in the future.
Yeah, you should
Just a
read the
joke.
legal stuff, but I think you're fine overall. But yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely triple check the legal stuff, but I'm like, again, fairly certain.
All right. Well, if anyone's got any last minute thoughts, great. Otherwise, I'm going to end it in about a minute or two. Give anyone a chance to say anything if they want to. But thanks everyone for joining and speaking and all that good stuff.
Just another one.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say if someone's done talking, I know Mike has requested for a little bit, so if someone can step down as a speaker, so you can get him to join up.
Yeah, I'll
Sounds
step
good.
down. No worries at all. Thanks again, guys. I made that little tribute above. Thank you for all the love so far, but signing out. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Bye-bye.
I'll step down as well. Hinton, thank you so much for the hosting. Another awesome space. Appreciate you so very much. And the Lion community, you guys are freaking rock stars. Let's go. And have a good night, everyone. I'm going to just step down.
Thanks.
Great space. Thank you.
Yo, what's up, guys? I just wanted to say I got nothing but love for this community. It's my first NFT, first time
Mike,
in the
go for it,
space,
bro.
and I just kind of took a shot in the dark. I thought the lines were sick, so I moved one of my wallets over and fully liquidated that into about 7-8 lines. So
Awesome.
I think it's awesome. I pop in on Discord when I can. I'm pretty busy. I play poker full time and run an online app with that, so I think this is awesome, though. I got a couple poker guys in it. I actually got a 55-year-old dude to buy a line yesterday.
Yes.
So
all right. Let us know if he's
That
on
is
Twitter or whatever.
awesome.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's not on any of that, but I mean, I got him to set up his trust wallet.
Nice.
So we're good to
I mean,
go.
think about that. That's a whole niche thing. There could be a Lazy Lions poker tournament. You'd have to be a lion to enter. I mean, there's so much you could do here.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
That would be sick. That would be sick. Yeah, I mean, but got nothing but love for you guys and the support, the community. I mean, everybody rocks. So I'll be in time to time the Discord. I'm always checking it out. If anybody needs anything, questions, anything poker related, anything related, I mean, I love talking to you guys. So it's about it. Just wanted to pop in and say what's up, and got nothing but love for y'all.
Mike, you're the best. Thanks for coming up and saying what's up. Really appreciate it. And I'll definitely be bugging
Yes,
you
sir.
about poker, especially Liar's Poker.
Please do.
Hey, I'm 46, man.
You beat me.
You guys, I think I'm the oldest person in here.
Well, good for
No,
you.
I am. I'm 61. I'm 61. I beat you.
Well, there you go.
There you
All
go.
right.
Way to go, Dr.
Right
Well,
on.
we're happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
I'm launching my anti-aging line as well. Check it out.
Awesome.
I've been fighting aging. I
Is
programmed
that
my cells not to age since I was 18. I'm 61. I think I've done a pretty good job.
I was about to slide in your DMs, so you're doing great.
Manifest that which you desire, everybody. Manifest that which you desire.
I'm with that.
Everything
I like that.
possible.
I really believe in that. Thank you for that.
And you are responsible for your own energy, all right, out here in the universe.
No doubt.
Understand that.
I'll take your wisdom anytime. Thank you so much.
Grazie. I'm going to Italy.
Nice. All right, that's
Hayden, I just want to say thanks, man.
Of course.
I just want to say thanks. I know we're about to jump up, man, but thanks for putting this together. You've done a couple of them so far, man. I don't probably spend as much time as some of the other people in the Discord. I'm in and out, but I saw this happening on Twitter, and I see you always hosting. So as soon as I see it up there on the top banner, I'm in straight away, and it's always a good time. So thanks to everybody that joined, and thanks to all the conversation, and
thanks for joining
keep
us
the
today,
energy
man.
going.
Thanks for speaking. I really loved your thoughts.
Thanks.
It's great.
Thanks,
Yeah,
bro.
man. Thanks for being here.
Cheers, man. Have a good day, guys.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Enjoy.
It's a wrap. Bye, everyone.
Hey guys, and tomorrow
Yeah,
is
good.
Roar Awards for us.
That's
right.
right.
Tomorrow's Roar
Yeah.
Awards.
Yep.
And you know what's so cool about that? Even if it's a small amount, the fact that they're giving us back anything shows that they care about us and that this is an important project. I mean, they don't have to do that. So I think that's killer. So anything that we get, even a small amount, is really, really awesome. So I think that's killer.
I don't know another NFT project doing it like that. So yeah.
I definitely think we should come back here tomorrow night and discuss that as well.
We can do that. I'll be around.
Everybody's payments.
On board for that, definitely.
All right.
Hey guys, real quick, two things I just wanted to quickly say. One, Victor, about the terms of sale. If you go to the Lazy Lions website, scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a terms of service or terms of sale that you can click on, and it has all the legal and all the commercial rights and what you can and can't do and all the details to that. So if you just go to all the way to the bottom of the page, you'll find that info there.
Thanks for sharing.
And then the other thing,
Great.
yeah,
Thank
and then
you.
the other thing I was gonna say, is we've got Roar Awards tomorrow. But what I do want to just kind of emphasize with the community and everybody is that, the devs have been working really, really hard on this. But there's going to be bumps and there's going to be hiccups along the way. It's not going to roll out perfectly. They're the first NFT project that's coming out with something like this. It's a really big scale project to, drop, Matic and hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially to all these different wallets and all these different holders. So, just stick with us. It's going to be, up and down, and they're going to do their best to kind of avoid any issues. And I know a lot of people today have had issues connecting their PFPs and their Twitters and their Discords and all this other stuff with the website. But if you've seen anything through this project and through this community, is that everybody's there for each other, and the devs are really legit human beings and trustworthy, and they're going to do their best to make this as smooth as possible. And whatever doesn't happen correctly, they're going to do right and make sure it is handled after tomorrow. So if everything doesn't go smooth in the next 24 48 hours, I'm sure everything will be right in the coming days. And for the people that don't know kind of the minting story and what happened with Lazy Lions, that's exactly what happened and why we have 80 extra lions, right? So we were going through the minting process, and the devs kept getting hit up with all these people that are saying, hey, my ETH address, I bought them, but it's getting stuck, it's not working, what's going on? And they just kept getting these messages, and so they started making lions as a backup to make sure that they can give them out to the people that said that they bought them, but they weren't actually getting the lions. And in that process, we sold out so fast. Within 5 hours, we sold out all 10,000 that they didn't even realize it. And so that's how we accidentally went over that 80. So that just shows you, how much they trust, or how much you guys should trust in the devs, and they're going to do what's right for the community. So just keep that all in mind, as we go through the whole rewards process tomorrow.
It's innovative. It's always going to have bumps. So, but community's great. I'm sure everyone's going to be fine. Awesome. All right. I'm really ending it this time. So if anyone has any last words, this is your last chance. All right.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Grazie, grazie.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Peace out.